Hi, my name is Veronica Young and I'm an associate at the Feldstein Family Law Group. I'm here to discuss marriage contracts with you. Marriage contracts, aka prenuptial agreements or prenups, and how having such a contract may impact your divorce or separation. Where separating spouses can enter into a separation agreement after they have separated to deal with their rights and obligations upon separation, a marriage contract is a little different. A marriage contract can be entered into either before or during the marriage. A marriage contract is a written agreement between two married spouses or two people intending to be married. Marriage contracts are limited to addressing the following issues. Firstly, ownership and division of property. Second, child support. Third, spousal support. And fourth, the right to direct the education and moral upbringing of children. It is also important to know that there are limitations as to what issues parties can deal with in a marriage contract. Generally, if the issue is not related to one of the four issues I discussed earlier, it's likely not an issue that can be addressed in a marriage contract. More specifically, the law is clear that the following issues cannot be addressed by a marriage contract. First is custody and access of children, and the second is the possession of the matrimonial home. With respect to the custody and access of children, this means that spouses cannot predetermine in a marriage contract issues such as which parents get custody, the children's living arrangements, or a parenting schedule upon separation. Any terms regarding parenting in a marriage contract must be limited to how the children are raised, such as religion or education, but not which parents makes decisions about raising the children. With respect to possession of the matrimonial home, this means that the parties cannot agree to limit their special rights under the Family Law Act to equal possession of the matrimonial home. For example, a marriage contract cannot contain a clause saying that upon separation, the husband must move out of the matrimonial home while the wife stays in the home. That's a complete no-go. Where a marriage contract contains provisions dealing with prohibited issues such as the custody and access of children or limiting possession of the matrimonial home, these specific provisions would not be enforceable and would be considered void. Depending on the circumstances, the balance of the marriage contract may still be enforceable. Prior to negotiating, drafting, and entering into a marriage contract, both parties should exchange full and frank financial disclosure about their incomes, assets, and liabilities. Failure of the parties to exchange financial disclosure or a failure to disclose income, assets, and liabilities leaves a marriage contract vulnerable and at risk of being set aside in the future pursuant to Section 56 Sub 4 of the Family Law Act. Full and frank financial disclosure about each party's financial circumstances at the time of the contract is crucial and necessary to ensure that both parties understand the financial consequences of the contract that they're entering into. If there is evidence that a party did not understand the nature or consequences of the contract they enter into, the marriage contract may be set aside later. The marriage contract may also be set aside at a later date for different types of inadequacies at the time of entering into the contract. Such inadequacies include undue influence or duress upon one of the parties. In addition to this, the court also has discretion to set aside support provisions or a waiver of support in a marriage contract if the court finds that the provisions or waiver results in unconscionable circumstances after separation. It is not uncommon for parties with a marriage contract to try and have them set aside after the parties separate on the basis that the specific clauses or terms are ambiguous or that the party did not understand the consequences of the contract when they signed it. In such circumstances, the court will try to interpret or determine what the parties' intentions were at the time of the marriage contract being signed. If you have concerns whether your marriage contract is unfair or whether you may be entitled to more than what is provided for you in your marriage contract upon separation, I really strongly recommend that you consult with a family law lawyer. If you require more information regarding the impact of a marriage contract on your separation or divorce, please visit our website at www.separation.ca or call us at 1-855-909-9903 to schedule a free initial consultation with one of our lawyers. Thank you for watching and have a great day.